Welcome back to the Shuffle Squad. Zach Lesage here.
And Michelle Lesage.
And we're here with a joint special couple Pokemon TCG tier list ranking video. So I came up with 32 icons, made some new icons, and Michelle and I are going to go through the decks that have done well at Las Vegas, Buenos Aires, and a few of the other regionals in the Mega Evolution format. Whether you're heading to the Latin American International Championships, your local League Cup, League Challenge, or just really trying to understand the metagame, this video should be there for you. So, I don't think they're in alphabetical order. Maybe they are. We're going to start off with Alakazam. Now, Alakazam, you're trying to build up a large hand size and really try to hit your opponents. It is damage counters, so it doesn't necessarily work all the time, especially with decks playing Mist Energy. But if your opponent doesn't play Iono, it's kind of strong. We'll kick it off with you, Michelle. Where do you think this deck kind of ranks in the metagame after playing Buenos Aires? Sorry, Alakazam lovers.
I'm gonna be honest, I haven't seen that deck. I haven't played against that deck. I have not seen anyone play that deck. Sorry, Alakazam lovers. I don't think this deck is good. Or maybe not as good as some
might not be as explored as it necessarily can be.
Yeah, but you know what? Maybe there's a reason for that.
Could be. I know that there's some players who've played on the ladder, and I do want to note that the in real life metagame, especially when you're dropping $70 or $80 for a registration on a regional. I mean, we're in this beautiful hotel hotel apartment in Buenos Aires. It's a little bit expensive to fly from Montreal to Buenos Aires. Like, there's a lot of factors that come into there. So while it might be rocking the ladder, rocking league, might not get there. I'm going to be pretty harsh towards it. We'll see if Michelle wants to go as harsh as I do.
I think we go with 2.5.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm kind of thinking. Look, we took decks that have made day 2 at a regionals. Like, all these decks have done generally pretty good. Yeah. Okay,
Sorry.
When there's how many was there? There was over 500 in Las Vegas. There are going to be some decks that slip through there.
Alakazam that made day 2 in
sometimes
okay,
might not be Vegas. It could be deck. There's players that have made day 2 with all of these decks, as far as I'm concerned.
Okay, all right.
We're gonna start putting them there. Next up is Archaladon. So Archaladon is a deck. I saw it in day 2. I built this deck in real life as well. I mean, I have Alakazam built in real life. Shout out Kayfabe Cards. Check out the links in the description. Hey, you want to know what they got me all my cards?
Hey,
it's my YouTube channel.
You know what? They also give me all my blank cards. So you know what? Shout out
Kayfabe. Pour out this Fanta Pomelo. Not sponsored by Fanta. I'm sponsored by Ghost Energy. But it's one of those things where it's a good pour them out for Kayfabe. Hit that like button. Okay, so Archaladon was a deck. I made day 2 with it in EUIC last year. Deck fell off the face of the planet. And yeah, Michelle hasn't seen any Alakazams. I bet you've seen less Archaladon. But there was a build that played Mega Mawile EX because you could accelerate the energies to it. It made day 2 at one of the European regionals. I think it's okay-ish. The question is it better than Alakazam? And look, it's not getting S tier. I think it's really easy to start cutting off the tiers. S tier 1, 1.5, even 2 is kind of get there. I think we might have a lot of 2.5s.
Yeah, I think so too. And you know what? It used to be really good.
But it's a different format.
It's the loss of Dialga V-Star, I think, made it significantly worse.
Yeah, there's a lot of things there that is just not overall. Okay, now we're kind of getting to, I guess, a real-ish deck. Ceruledge. Ceruledge kind of had a resurgence in Mega Evolution with access to the Lunatone Soul Rock engine. There's actually a lot of decks if you look through a lot of these icons, but maybe you can't see the icons, I can. Lunatone Ceruledge is it's a real deck, being able to pitch more energies, draw cards, and I think Azul even played it to a Limitless tournament with Drillbur and did quite well with it. As a player that played Gholdengo this past weekend, Fire type is scary. Did you run into Ceruledge at Buenos Aires?
I don't know.
No. I ran into one. It used Salvatore to donk me turn 1. It knocked out my Pokemon. And I was like, They're like, yeah, I think I got it. I'm like, what the heck are you talking about? Then they drop the Salvatore. I read it, and I'm like, oh, okay. Then I looked in the discard pile, and I like, yep, I guess my game's over. Crazy. Okay, so I don't think this one goes to S tier.
No.
And I don't even think it goes to tier 1. I'm tempted to put it, like, it's not tier 2.5 either.
No, it's not.
It's between 1.5 and 2. And where I'm tempted to put it at 1.5 is Ross Cawthon, arguably one of the greatest players of all time. The only player who's made world championships every single year, played it to Milwaukee. Now, I don't think they've played a regional since, could be wrong. But at the same time, Ceruledge is not a deck that popular players are really picking. They're like Henry Chow's going to continue to play Gardevoir, Cal Connor's playing Dragapult, Gabe Smart's playing Gholdengo. No Ceruledge. If there was hopes of life there, it might be good. So I'm like really debating here, and I'll let Michelle be the final judgment.
I think we go with 1.5 solely for the reason that it beats Gholdengo, and Gholdengo is really popular right now.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was going with. Like, I think, like, I know for anyone who's watched my tier list videos before, I would have liked to see a tier 1.75 if there was. Like, so I like really, like, like finding that perfect match for the deck. So it's really hard to put in between the categories. Now, I don't think it's permanently a 1.5. No. I think the deck is very much a 2 all the time, but 1.5 going forward to LEIC Cups this weekend. If you're in a Gholdengo metagame, Ceruledge seems pretty good. Now, we have Blood Moon Ursaluna, the Tim Danklin deck, and it's cool to see that Lunatone's brought back a deck. I won a league challenge maybe a year ago with a Blood Moon deck with Iron Valley, and that was kind of cool. It's a deck that players have made day 2 with, and it's fairly new towards the Mega Evolution metagame. Now, that also means that it's probably not going to be S tier. It's one of those decks that people have just kind of picked up. Probably not tier 1 either. I think this is really like going to be one of those ones where even 1.5 is too large.
Yes.
It's got to be a
2.
I was going to say 2.5 seems a little bit low. I think there's some sauce here when it comes to this deck. And being able to pitch energies, gain your energies back with Blood Moon, be a single prize card deck. There's a little bit of something there that I think is better than Alakazam and better than Archaladon. So when we're placing it, like, I think you could day 2 with this deck. It might be one of those decks that could get a sneak top 16 or a sneak ASIM. But at the same time, I think there's other decks that can do that a little bit easier. Also a deck that's not really popular, so it's sometimes hard to gauge it. Now, Noctowl Charizard was a deck that I didn't even know I was going to put on here, to be honest, when it came to creating these icons. It's been a deck that's been around forever. However, other builds of Charizard, like Pidgeot, have become a little bit more popular as of late. And it's really one of those things where Noctowl Charizard is really kind of played as a Terra box deck with Wellspring, sometimes Dusknoir. I know that my friend Mike Pianka plays it, one of the owners of Element Sleeves. You haven't really played too much with this one, have you?
No, but like, I've seen the list, and like, in my opinion, just worst Charizard. So
I mean, I think it's really one of those decks. It's like a wombo combo. Yes. When it works, it works.
It's so good.
I had a game against this deck in Pittsburgh, and my opponent board wiped me turn 2 with Dusknoirs and Wellspring, and I was like, what the heck? I think I want to probably put it at... You're saying 2. I want to put it at 2.5.
That's fine. You know what? That's fine.
I think we'll probably see like more players playing Blood Moon or Ursaluna than Charizard Noctowl, and it doesn't have to necessarily do with play rate. I'm always going to give people my opinion on how I think of the metagame or where the metagame's actually going. Same thing with Michelle. But Noctowl Charizard just seems like it's not all the way there. Like maybe a 2.25 if you're being like real with it. But yeah. Also, if we're talking about Element Sleeves with Mike Pianka owning Element Sleeves, we are affiliated with Element Sleeves. It's a newer sleeve brand. Both use them throughout the tournaments. There's the new Dark Side line. Check out elementsleeves.com. Use code Lesage. Works out to support both of us. Yeah. And and Baby Kenny. She's sleeping behind here in our apartment. Yeah. So yeah, you can use code Lesage and save $1 off your pack of sleeves per pack. Okay, now we're talking about the other Charizard deck, and this one's going to be a little bit higher. So
Yes.
Charizard Pidgeot, we saw Jackson Ford win Milwaukee Regionals. You also came second.
A little League Cup the weekend right after. I really like this deck. I think it's really good, especially because of Gholdengo. It's, I don't be like easy to pick up than most decks.
But there's also a lot of depth to it as well, right?
No,
I
there
think,
is.
like, searching through any card any turn gives you a lot of outs, and you have to know exactly what you're searching for.
No, exactly. But I will say I haven't played, up until that League Cup, I haven't played Charizard in, like, I will say a year plus, maybe a year and a half. And I was able to pick it up, and it was like I came second, and the only reason I came second is because I break, basically. So it's beginner friendly, but not to the full potential, maybe. So, like, I would say 1.5, maybe.
Yeah, I was thinking 1.5 for this deck. It seems strong and can do well against Gholdengo, similar like Ceruledge. Maybe has a little bit of a tougher matchup against Gholdengo because Gholdengo could go a single prize card board. Not to say the metagame completely revolves, but as Gardevoir doesn't, it kind of hovers in popularity. We might not see it be as popular in LAIC as we have seen it in North American events. So I could see Charizard Pidgeot around 1.5. I know Jackson played it to the Buenos Aires event, and I think he made day 2.
I think he made top 32.
It might have been 32 or 64 with it. So, still a strong performance.
It was 32. It was almost
32.
16. I think it was 20th or something like that.
Okay. So, really one of those decks where, like, I think if you know what you're doing with it, it's great.
Yes.
But it might fall a little bit short sometimes, especially without the metagames going right now. Conkeldurr. I know that,
The Europeans love this deck. I'm looking at you, Amy. I know you love this
Pumpka Amy made day 2 with it. And there's a few other players. Conkeldurr's... Speaking about decks that beat Gholdengo, a lot of the times this deck can beat Gholdengo because it hits the right numbers. And it's kind of one of those Wombo combo decks that works. Wombo combo, you might just be code word for 2.5. These are decks that can make day 2 at a regional, so you could probably win a cup or challenge.
Yeah.
But I think it's just a little bit shorter than the rest. Now, Conkeldurr might actually be a tier 2 deck.
I think it's harsh bringing it at 2.5.
No, but I think it's got to be 2.5. Because the thing is, right now we're going through some decks and you might be like, oh, it's easy.
Yeah, but it's a one-prizer deck.
Yeah, but so is Alakazam.
Yeah. But so is Blood Moon Ursaluna.
But Blood Moon Ursaluna can hit higher numbers against more decks, I think. I don't know. Obviously, if anyone here is in a committed relationship, you know, you got to give it to your wife. Where do you want to put it, Michelle? 2. I think it's just because she's friends with Pumpkin Amy, to be honest. So, shout out Pumpkin Amy. Okay, since you rated that one, I'm going to rate Crustle. Shout out Crustle. I played this deck to Milwaukee and I did really bad. But my friend Henry Thompson went on to have a strong day 2 finish. Now, Crustle is there to stop a lot of decks. And if we think about decks that have no answer to Crustle, Gholdengo now has 0 answers to Crustle. If you play Crustle against Gholdengo, they just scoop the game. They can go Soul Rock, maybe Hops Kramer if they play it, but they should be playing Mega Mawile now, post the results of Tord winning with Mega Absol box. So Crustle, which would previously be in the 2.52 category, I think is at 1.5 in our current metagame. Now, there's a lot of decks that might just struggle against Crustle. If we look at a lot of these decks, Charizard could struggle, Ceruledge could struggle. Maybe decks like Blood Moon, Ursaluna aren't going to struggle, but when we're going for percentages of based off decks, Crustle's a really hot play right now. I know a lot of y'all will be like, Zach, you put Crustle at 1.5. I hate your channel, bro. Well, get real with it. I'm just trying to tell you the facts. And there's a lot of players that have played my list, exact 60s, who got top cuts this past weekend, including Dre playing the Gholdengo deck. And of course, we have Hawken playing the Joltik box deck. So, couple top cuts and masters across Las Vegas and Buenos Aires. Maybe I'm spitting sometimes, okay? Okay, Garchomp. Another deck that we're going to talk about, some Poke YouTubers who've played it. We know that Frosted Caribou made day 2 with this in Milwaukee.
Yes.
And there's other versions. Daniel Magda played this at, I believe it was Lille Regionals.
Lille, yeah.
before winning the Dansk Regional Championships. Now, there's some different builds of Garchomp, which is why I just showed the picture of Garchomp here. Garchomp has kind of fallen off the metagame a little bit since then. It might have to do with Gholdengo being able to OHKO it. I mean, it's still 2 prizers, but it's really one of those things where it might not necessarily just like keep up with this metagame. It's tough. What's your thoughts on Garchomp?
As a Joltik player, I really hate that deck.
Hey, Joltik's got some grass-type Pokemon.
Yeah, but it's not enough.
Yeah, they do have that Cynthia's Power Rate card. Now, as a Joltik player, if you're ranking this deck...
2.5. No. I would say closer to 2, maybe.
Closer to 2?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's definitely on the line of 2 and 2.5. I think...
Like, it's good. Obviously, it can, like, win games. Obviously, if it made day 2. But, like, is it the best deck? No.
Well, we also got to think about decks that are, like, the way it's positioned in the metagame right now.
But, like, what does it really beat, like, 100% of the time? We're looking at Joltik. No, sorry. We're looking at... no.
Like, I think Garchomp's just really, like... I think 2 is being a little bit nice right now to the deck.
Alright, that's fine. 2.5 it is, I guess.
I mean, at the end of the day, like, if you're choosing deck from these tier, you kind of understand where you're grabbing it from. We didn't do a tier 3 or, like, a don't play tier this week. Maybe if I make some more icons, we could find some decks. So if there's any decks that you want to see, let us know in the comments, and we'll get back to you. Now, Charizard Dragapult, we saw Nathan Osterkatz actually win the regionals in seniors division in Las Vegas. Now, they've had a pretty big of a big tear of a run, seeing finals or winning a few of the other regionals as well. I know that Dragapult Charizard hasn't really seen too much success in Masters, but I think this is just one of those decks where we probably have to put it at 1.5 by default. Yeah. We haven't really touched the 1 or S tier yet, and I'm sure we'll probably get there, especially when we're looking at Dragapult Dusknoir. Now, Dragapult Dusknoir is a deck that I played at Worlds. I think I've won all 4 of my league challenges with this deck and had some League Cup results. Haven't played in a major since. Michelle has this deck fully built, all blanked out. The thing is, we got to look at where we have post Las Vegas regionals. If I'm not mistaken, I think Sommet was the top placing version, and Cal Connor had a strong success at top 32. I always look at Michelle
16,
maybe 16, 16, 32.
Wait, what are you looking at before? I don't know the results.
She doesn't know the results.
I'm just here for the vibes.
I think S is too low. Or too high.
Too high?
Well, we can look at it and it's just like...
Well, does he beat Tord's deck?
So the Tord deck is a close matchup. Gardevoir is a tough matchup. Gholdengo is a tough matchup.
Is it a tough matchup? I haven't won a single game.
I feel like it's one of those things where I feel really good into that
matchup. Is it user error?
Could be.
Okay, you know what? One, I feel like we can agree on.
Yeah, definitely not 1.5. Like, it's definitely between S and 1. I just think as we go forward, we're probably going to see more decks that play Monkey Dory. We're going to see more decks that play Gardevoir, especially after those things. Zorak, really tough matchup for it as well.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
right.
we're like looking at it, and it's like Dragapult Dusknoir could even fall to 1.5.
No.
But 1 is just based off its overall success in the metagame, its consistency, and a lot of these lists are really like figured out now. So you could look at any of the lists from Henry Brand, Sommet, Cal Connor, and they're all going to be very similar, off by a card or two. That's when you know a deck's kind of in its final form. Ethan's Typhlosion. We got a few.
Get that deck away from me.
We got a few people in the Montreal area who have been playing this deck, including my friend Brandon. And Ethan's Typhlosion, definitely not a 1.5. We're going to kind of start it off there. I actually think as other decks are getting stronger, Ethan's Typhlosion gets worse.
Yes.
And that's the unfortunate case for a deck that's almost about to fall off. Like, I think it's enough of its own archetype where it's strong, but I'm going to put it at tier 2.5.
Yes. The damage cap is not high enough, unfortunately.
Well, they got it with the Brave Bengal, and they got it with the Gravity Mountain. So we can hit those numbers. It's just like you do okay-ish against Gardevoir, but it can get bad. I think you lose against Dragapult Duskmar. And I think now with a lot of these decks that you could do well against two prizers, like they play Luna Rock, and Luna Rock can just rip you to shreds in the early game. Noctowl Flareon. So we saw Emma Hagen come second place with this at Gdansk Regionals. And the deck, I think, has fallen off since then.
Well, okay, so I think this deck is, like, really good if you really know how to play it, which is Emma's case.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those cases where, like, if you know what you're doing, you know what you're doing. Being Fire type is good because Gholdengo does not want to run into Fire types. But I do think Gholdengo, in the same way that Emma lost in the finals to Danielle Magda, could get cheesed out. Like, I think...
It's a 1.5, I think.
I want to put it between 1.5 and 2.
Okay, well, listen.
But I think if I put it on the same level as Conkeldurr and Ursaluna, I'm just being disrespectful. So we're going to go 1.5. Michelle teaches me to be polite, otherwise I'm just a crazy man. Frostlass Monkey Dory, kind of similar to Marnie's Grimmsnarl, but different enough where it exists. We also see that it has the Tinglu to kind of stop some of that Monkey Dory damage. I think this is a sleeper pick in the metagame. I know Michelle hasn't really dabbled too much with this one. I think I'm just going to put it at 2. Yes. It's all right, but I don't think it's going to be reaching the top tiers. This is one of the decks, like, whereas I have Flareon Noctowl built, I don't have Frostlass Monkey Dory built. And the metagame's always changing, right? So, like, let's say if I make this video again in a week, because I know some people make comments and are like, oh, Zach, you do the top 10 best decks every week. Sometimes a 1-card change, even, like, between, like, my Gholdengo that I played Buenos Aires, where I played Hops Cramorant, going forward, I'd include Mega Mawile. I think something like Frostlass Monkey Dory might drop down a tier in a week from now, and Ethan's Typhlosion might fall off the map, whereas decks like Crustle are up right now, so it can definitely change things up. Okay, we're getting into a real category.
Real decks. Sorry.
The real decks. Gardevoir Drifloon. Now, this is kind of the Gardevoir Charm deck. I think Gardevoir Charm, like, while a lot of the top players are always on Jelly, I actually think that these Charm versions of the deck can be a little bit scarier for the metagame, to some degree, because they have access to a tool scrapperless metagame. And I think, like, Gardevoir in general, I just gotta give it to S.
Yes. Like, this deck is better into Gholdengo, in my opinion. God bless my opponent, because we had a gentleman's agreement and he honored it, but in Buenos Aires, like, it came really close, and if it wasn't for my opponent breaking game 3, I don't know what I would have done, to be honest. Yeah,
and we could see, like, if there's more Bravery Charm builds, in the future, decks could include more Tool Scrapper. Yes. Really, the only deck that has been running Tool Scrapper is Gholdengo. Not to make everything about Gholdengo, but that's kind of been the most popular deck in the metagame right now. So we could see that could be that picnic basket spot. Yes. And, yeah, we'll have to see how that ends up playing out. But we have the other Gardevoir deck. And I think if you have Henry Chow, Abon Ahmed, Rowan Stave now playing the deck, all killing it, crushing it at regionals, we got to give it to S as well.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
The Jelly version of Gardevoir is just so powerful. Being able to block items with Frillish, being able to block items and tools with Jellicent, and sometimes just locking decks out of games. And there's a lot of versatility when it comes down to it, which is, I think, the reason why we see these top players continuously have deep runs with the deck. Jelly Guardy just seems like we're going to have to deal with it until rotation. And whether that's, like, March or April, whenever it gets announced, kind of be warned. Jelly Guardy's probably going to be there and continuously get updated.
That whole archetype is just my, like, kryptonite. I don't ever seem to do well against
I usually feel pretty good against that matchup.
I think it's because I usually, like, have a really bad matchup into it. At the beginning, when Gardevoir came out, I always picked decks that had such a bad matchup against it, and now I just feel like the second I say it, it's basically like I lost already.
Yeah, 100%. I think that Jelly Guardy is a deck that, if you want to do well at a regionals or end up winning, you probably have to choose a deck that has it, a good matchup against it. Probably why we saw Zoroark versus Mega Absol in the finals of Las Vegas regionals. If you're not playing a teched out Gholdengo or a dark type deck, those are the decks that are up there.
Even Gholdengo gets scary. Cause,
it does get scary.
Like, I mean, I wasn't playing pure Dango, but when
we have Mega Mawile. Like, Mega Mawile being added into the deck can definitely change that.
No, that's fair, because, like, I'm telling you, like, the Gholdengo that I played in Pittsburgh, and I hit a bond round 7, and, like, he just destroyed me. Like, it was not even close.
I mean, to be fair, you're not the only one to Bond be destroying everyone. This was Las Vegas was the first regionals he did not make finals at this season, so...
top 4.
Yeah, only top 4.
Only top 4.
Joltik Gholdengo. We're gonna go...
my beloved.
Your beloved.
My beloved. Don't you dare put it at 2. You're sleeping on the couch tonight.
Luckily, this apartment doesn't have a couch. It just has a weird extra single bed that... King Dre Clout, Dre Alderette, slept on this weekend. We saved him from his host, his Airbnb host that canceled on him. Okay, I'm gonna be real. Joltik Gholdengo loses to it's close for Gardevoir, but I think it's actually unfavored, and it's probably good against Dragapult.
No, it depends, because most players play Tool Scrapper in this now.
Okay, sure. And maybe you can include Mega Mawile in the deck now, so you have some more options, because there's enough metal energies to kind of rock that.
Yeah, maybe.
But I do think, like, whereas before I thought it was like tier 1, tier 1.5, and Gholdengo decks fell off, I actually think I am going to put this deck at 2, because it also struggles against regular Dango. Look, it's not 2.5. I think 2 is a pretty good category.
1.5. I think it's 1.5.
Give us some reasons here. Now,
okay.
I do want to say Michelle did make day 2 with this deck.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah,
I made day 2 with it first in Monterey.
Yeah. Well, I lost. I timed my win in Monterey. Okay, listen. It beats Guardy. Okay, it beats Guardy. Okay, most of the time it does.
I don't think so.
Listen.
It's close.
I didn't lose to Guardy except the Bond.
Sure.
Okay.
But that, like, we gotta look at the top players.
Okay, it beats Dragapult.
I will give you that.
Okay, it beats Ceruledge if you go...
yeah, I think you beat Ceruledge, sure. We'll give you Ceruledge.
You beat Zard.
You don't beat Crustle.
You don't beat Crustle, but...
I don't think you beat Flareon Noctowl.
You beat Charizard Dragapult.
Close.
Okay, so what? You lose 2 decks in the top... Like...
You also lose to Gholdengo. There's other decks that are coming up, too.
No, you don't lose to the Gholdengo.
Yeah, you do.
No, you don't, because you go double Pikachu.
That doesn't matter. You have to put down other Pokemon, and there's only 1 Pikachu in the deck.
Okay, you go 1 Pikachu.
I mean, we'll give it to Michelle at 1.5.
Thank you.
Maybe she's feeling something else.
No, you told me to give you reasons. I gave you plenty of reasons.
She gave reasons. I will say for the record that I love my wife. I would definitely put the deck at 2. I don't think it's as low as 2.5.
You wanted me to collaborate on this?
I did want you to collaborate. It's like doing arts and crafts, okay? Lunatone Gholdengo.
Are you comparing Joltik to arts and crafts?
No, I'm saying that doing tier lists is like arts and crafts. Okay, Gholdengo, Lunatone. 1?
1.
I think this deck is S tier by far.
Oh, then yeah, sure.
Michelle's just like... I think that we haven't had enough top players play this deck. We have a lot of those really, really, really good players, and there's a few top players that are playing it. I don't even want to throw my hat into the ring, but like when you look at players like Bodie Robinson, Gabriel Smart, handfuls of players, even Christian Fontenot that have been playing it and absolutely excelling, Daniel Magda. Like we can go there. We haven't really necessarily seen the Henry Chow group play this deck. And I think if they play the deck, it would be winning the regionals to the same degree.
Yeah.
Now, whereas for our list in Buenos Aires that Dre made top cut with, did not play Mega Mawile. I think you should play Mega Mawile going forward because you need an answer to Cornerstone Ogerpon because Tord won with Cornerstone Ogerpon in his deck. Ripping through a bunch of energies seems really good. I don't really see too many other decks moving up. because decks like Ceruledge probably are going to end up losing to decks like Dragapult, decks like there's a lot of decks that just get kind of countered out of the metagame. So I think Gholdengo can kind of pack a punch with the Gardevoir decks up at the top.
Yes.
Okay, we got Greninja. The deck that made ASIM it bubbled out of ASIM.
What?
At Danks Regionals.
Yeah, he was playing that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Now, Greninja, I think, like, it's a wombo combo deck with Dragapult, or with Dusknoir, and I think it's going to be one of those things where it's not a 2.5, it's probably just a tier 2 deck. I don't really have too much information on it. I did end up building the deck because I think it's cool and unique enough. I have about 30 in real life decks built for myself.
He does. It's really heavy in our suitcases.
It is. Yeah. Greninja's, it's fine. I think it's like one of those decks where, like, if you're an expert on the deck, that's really cool. If you know what you're doing, that's awesome. But otherwise, the deck is just like it's probably gonna fall out of the metagame once Phantasmal is released.
Yeah.
Ho-Oh Armarouge.
I don't even know what that deck does.
Yeah, that's probably fair. I don't think a lot of people do. You accelerate energies with Ho-Oh from your hand, and then Armarouge moves them around, and you put Prism, and then you have all these cool attacks in play. This is actually a deck that I was on stream against Tord Recklove that had the Chen Pao. That wasn't in their deck list. There was that long judge call. So you move the energies all around. I think it's fine, but it's going to be like one of these wombo combo decks. I think I just probably want to put it at like... I want to put it at tier 2.5.
Well, does it beat Tord's deck?
Tord played Mega Absol.
If it didn't get like messed up with the deck list, was it?
I think he was doing pretty good. Yeah.
Okay.
But like the deck just misses things naturally. Like it falls flat at a certain point. I'm gonna give it to 2.5. It hasn't seen too much success, and it's just not there.
It's just like uncharted territory. How are we supposed to like base like I don't know, like rank a deck if we don't really see it much, right?
That's fair. Joltik Box is a deck that Michelle knows a lot about.
Oh, I love that deck.
I've won a League Cup. Michelle's had some strong success at some League Cups and League Challenges of herself.
I see you roaming around the 2.5.
No, I'm just putting it around here because I'm holding on to my mouse.
Yeah.
We're on my mobile setup, okay, y'all? So I'm just trying to make sure that the video turns out okay.
Okay.
And hopefully you find our banter fun and not annoying.
Okay. It beats Gardy.
I don't think the deck beats Gardy.
God.
I think it's close against Gardy.
Okay, it's like 50-50 against Gardy. It can beat it. It can lose.
I think it can beat it, sure.
You beat Gholdengo.
I do not think you beat Gholdengo.
How?
So, as a Gholdengo player, Gholdengo can go all single prize card board states. So if...
Okay, and you go Amp.
Yeah, so as long as you have 2 gimmies out, then you go into a Gholdengo at that point.
If
you knock out the Gholdengo with the Pikachu, so then you're at 2 prize card remaining. And then you have no energies left.
What do you mean you have no energies left?
Because if you went for Amp, you don't have any energies left.
No, okay, here's the thing.
I did talk to Diego Casaraga, who made talk up with this deck. The reason why he did not play it at Buenos Aires, and he's a player from Argentina, is because you lose to Gholdengo.
Alright, fine. Fine.
We thought it beat Gholdengo before, and it's close. If players do not know what they're doing, you beat Gholdengo.
No, because if you played the Magneton...
Maybe the Magneton could save the matchup to some degree.
Because you can go Amp, and then you go Amp again.
If you don't go... I think the Magneton could save the matchup.
1.5.
I think the deck is 1.5, okay, but the reason why Joltik Box is there, I think Joltik Box is better than Gholdengo, which is why I think Joltik should be 2.
No. They be different things. It's like...
Michelle has a soft spot for decks that have Joltik in it. She does have a PSA 10 Joltik. alts.
He's just a little bug.
He's just a little bug. It's okay.
He's just vibing. Listen.
Look, I think Joltik Box is 1.52. I think that Joltik Gholdengo is 2. 1 point, yeah. Anyways, sure, cool, awesome. Marnie's Grimmsnarl. Marnie's Grimmsnarl seemed to do pretty yikes at Las Vegas. It was a deck that didn't really pop up. Probably was hovering in the 1 tier. I think that the deck is probably just 1.5 right now. It could have always been hovering in the 1.5. It does fine against Gholdengo to some degree. It does fine against Gardevoir to some degree. It does fine against Dragapult to some degree. Fairly neutral deck.
I don't think I don't think it really does well against Gholdengo. With the picnic basket?
It depends. Sometimes they can spread all the damage counters, or if you have a, like... I'm not saying it does good. I'm saying it's close.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, the deck that just won Las Vegas Regionals. Mega Absol Box. Tord Reklev invented it. I don't think the deck's S.
One?
I think the deck's 1 because I think that, like, it doesn't necessarily beat Gardevoir. I don't think it's going to necessarily beat new Gholdengo builds.
Yeah, that's fair.
And it's close against Dragapult. Like, I don't think Tord would even say that the deck is S tier. I think Tord would say he really liked playing the deck and it challenged him, and he is good enough where he won the regionals. But I think it's 1. I think we're going to see a lot of players playing it at LAIC towards the GOATs, play the GOATs deck. Probably a good time to play the deck. Kangaskhan Bouffalant, a deck that's not really played. I know that I built a stall version of this deck, but there's an attacking version that's a little bit more popular. Yeah.
Huh.
They kind of play it like Mega Absol Box deck, except you just build up a board and you attack, and then you move you can penny or wallies and heal the damage off, whatever.
Oh, okay.
I think that deck is probably just 2.
Yes.
It's like all right.
Yeah.
It exists. It's fine-ish. Mega Lucario.
As a deck itself?
As a deck itself, yeah. With maybe Hariyama, the Lunatone package.
Yeah.
Like a pure fighting deck build.
2.
I was going to say 2.5.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think it necessarily does anything. Like,
as a deck itself, I don't know.
You lose to Gardevoir.
Yes. Like, as a tech card, it's good. But
as a tech card, I think it's good in Gholdengo.
Yes.
But as a deck itself, I think it's a little bit low.
Yeah.
Mega Venusaur. I think Mega Venusaur... it has a cult following. I'll give it that.
What does it do?
So they play with the Meganium that doubles up the energies, and then you kind of just move the... It's just like a big tanky grass type deck.
How much HP does it have?
Lots.
Like how? Like 400?
I want to say it's like
340?
360?
Oh my god.
Maybe it's 340. I don't know. It's a lot.
Yeah.
I don't think it necessarily, like, again, like, there's decks like Gholdengo that can invent damage. There's decks like Mega Absol that can knock you out. Dragapult Dusknoir can maybe wipe off all your board. Yeah. And Gardevoir can kind of do whatever it wants. I'm going to put it at 2.5. Enzorg. We're at kind of some real decks.
I think that's a S or 1 if I've ever seen one. Maybe more like a 1.
So I think that Enzorg is definitely not S. I'll put it there.
Okay.
I think Gholdengo beats it. Gholdengo is the most popular deck in format. I think anyone would say that Gholdengo beats it for the most part.
Yes. Joltik beats it.
Joltik beats it. Mega Absol beats it because they play Cornerstone.
Yeah.
Dragapult...
As we saw in finals.
Yeah, Dragapult Dusknoir is close. And Gardevoir can also beat it. I want to say that Enzorg is 1.5.
It's hard because it looked so good in the hands of someone like Liam and Piper, but
that's the issue. It's just those players that are playing it cracked up.
Yeah, but you said earlier that we should base it on the top players that play it.
Sure, okay, sure. Let's go into the top players that play it. But if we think about the metagame as it's shaping up, going Gholdengo and Mega Absol going forward,
I would say 1.5.
I'd say 1.5.
Like, it's not the worst thing you can bring to LAIC or Cops or whatever, but like unless you're Piper or Liam.
Yeah, you need to know what you're doing. I think it's a high skill deck.
Yes.
I used to not think it was a high skill deck. I now think it's a high skill deck. Pidgeot Control, I think, struggles a lot against this metagame right now. I can't put it at 2.5 because it's too good of a deck not to. I think we're just going to default put it at 2. It exists if you're like Alessandro Cremasoli. Pretty solid deck. I mean, we're getting pretty shaped up here. And I think Michelle and I agree a lot, except when it comes to Joltik Box. Poison...
Listen. You can't attack that deck without...
We all have our sensitive spots, okay? Some of y'all who are watching this are probably like, oh, Zach put Greninja at tier 2. That's fine. Okay, Poison Roaring Moon. I made top 4 with a cup. I actually think this deck's like low-key better than a lot of people are giving it credit for now. I want to say that this deck is just tier 2.
Yes.
And it's probably just not tier 2.5. Also, yeah, I almost want to put Alakazam at tier 2 because as I'm looking at the bottom decks, I'm like, yeah, it's better than those other decks. So Alakazam reasonably should be here. As I'm looking through it, I was maybe mean to the deck. So we can always adjust as we go on there. And we might adjust things at the end. That's why you stay in tune, watch the whole video, and help us with those YouTube ads. Raging Bolts, a deck that is kind of fallen off the metagame. I think Yurko played a very interesting build to the Buenos Aires special events. Definitely not the S tier where it used to be.
No,
not a tier 1.
1.52. It's not 2.5 for sure.
I think it's 2.
Yeah.
It's fine, but it just doesn't really hold as well into the metagame as we want to. It doesn't beat Gardevoir. I think it does okay against Gholdengo, and maybe does okay against Mega Absol, but then loses to Dragapult Dusknoir.
Does it?
I think so.
Well, I mean, it's Joltik. We know that.
It does beat Joltik Box, and that deck's in 1.5 according to Michelle. I think Joltik Box is 1.5. I just don't think Joltik Gholdengo is supposed to be there.
You are still sleeping on the other bed tonight.
Okay, Slowking made day 2 somehow. Shout out to the Slowking players.
What does Slowking do?
You put the cards on top of your deck, and then you copy the attack that you discard from the top of your deck.
Oh.
So it's cool.
It's a one-prizer deck.
One-prizer deck. I think Slowking's actually just a tier 2.5.
Unfortunate.
Unfortunate for our boy Slowking. And then we're at Terrabox. Terrabox is a deck that I often hate on.
You played it too, last year. No,
not any regionals. No.
No,
I've practiced it.
No, you played. Oh, it's not the same deck. My bad. I was thinking about Lima.
Yep. I played Dusknoir Terrapagos.
It's a Terra deck.
I like Terra decks. I don't know if I like Terra Box.
It's a 1.5.
I think it's 1.5.
Yes.
It's not 1. It's not S. A strong player in the right field could play it.
Yes.
Okay. So this is where we got our tier list. I mean, I think the S's and 1s are very much on points. I think there's a lot of cool decks in the 1.5 category. And reasonably, I think we could also see a category 3 that might even drop some of these further. I think 2.5 is nice to some decks like Archaladon. Whereas I think the Noctowl Charizard's actually a 2.5 and Garchomp's a 2.5. Some other decks are falling off. So we might want to use a tier 3 in the future to maybe increase the decks here and maybe lower them out.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think this metagame seems pretty spot on as we look at it. I wouldn't be surprised at the Latin American International Championships if we saw any Gardevoir, Gholdengo, any decks in the S and 1 tier just absolutely crushing it.
Yeah.
Those are pretty easy guesses considering they've all won regional championships. And decks that win regional championships typically have a following of top players that play them. But I could see some of the 1.5s kind of being a hot picks category for the event.
Yeah.
Decks that have recently done well or might do pretty well. Decks in the tier 2 are probably all right picks, but you either have to master the deck, have a reason for playing them, and decks at the 2.5 range are decks that I think are not necessarily in the range that you should be playing them unless you're playing for fun, it's your favorite deck, but there might not be as well poised into the metagame as other decks right now. So that's kind of what we got going on for the video today. Stay tuned for more stuff from the Shuffle Squad. We still have a top 10 best decks video that's going to be coming out. So I'm going to be crushing that, doing my homework while away. So I'm going to need some more of this Pomelo Fanta to get me through my stuff. And we're going to see what I end up playing at the Latin American Internationals. Michelle and I both played Gholdengo at Buenos Aires. I have a soft spot for Gholdengo, but it's also one of those decks that often teases me in a lot of ways. I feel like few years, maybe 3 years ago when I played Lugia V-Star. I was on the cusp of the broken Lugia deck. And these are the types of decks that get me those 4 wins really early, and then the rest of the day I just feel like beats me up. So I don't want to necessarily look into it too much, because I've played Gholdengo to actually most regionals I've went to this season, 3 out of the 4.
Yeah.
Got day 2 at one of them, but I do think that with a little bit more luck or a few better matchups, that I could see more success with the deck in the future. What about you? What do you think you're playing for LAIC?
Something either with Joltik or Gholdengo. Maybe both.
Yeah, those are Michelle's vices, or
it's my guilty pleasure. It's like a toxic ex. Keep going back to the Joltik. Somewhere in my brain, it's
we have
there.
all the bling for both, including all the text, so I'm okay with it. As long as she was looking at Ceruledge for a little bit, and then we found out Ceruledges are $125 each, and I couldn't bag kayfabe for those. I don't have the heart to do it, even though kayfabe's the goats. Anyways, we'll catch up with all y'all later. Peace out, have a great one, and we'll catch up soon. Want to support the Shuffle Squad? Be sure to check out all of our sponsors in the description to pick up Pokemon TCG singles, sealed, and PTCG live codes. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that you enjoyed the content that we have today, and maybe you'll click on one of these other videos, enjoy those videos too. If you haven't already, give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, and let us know in the comments what video you want to watch next. Until next time, we'll catch up with all y'all later. Have yourself a great day.